I love my life. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am free. I love my life. I am wonderful. I am magical. I am me. I love my life. Selling your soul to me. I will never let go completely. One day our hands will be strong enough to hold me. I might not be there for all your battles, but you'll win them eventually. I pray that I'm giving you all that matters. So one day you'll say to me, I love my life. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am free. I love my life. I am wonderful. I am magical. I am me. I love my life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Oh my goodness, so excited to see all of you here. Myla, welcome. I don't think you had joined us for day 1 and day 2, so I'm so excited to see you, and I love it when you show up because you are just one little consistent and focused cookie, so I love having you here. Hola, Rebecca. Sorry, I said that with my Spanish accent. Said, Melissa, Ada, I'm so glad that you messaged me to confirm the meeting, and I'm so glad to see you here. Tanya, Yash, Hugh, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for being here, being back on day 3. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and let's just get started. I always feel a little nostalgic on day 3 of the workshop because it's like, damn, I want to do another day. But I am actually considering doing a 4-day event in the future, but let's just do it at 3 for now. So let's just get started. I want to start with a summary of day 2. And then before we move on to the actual teaching for today, I want us to get back to our intentions. So Jackie, I'm just going to ask you when we finish doing the summary of day 2 to play a little bit of music, and we're just going to close our eyes for a few minutes, and we're just going to remember the intention that we set for the 3 days on Tuesday, and just get back to that and just make sure that we connect with that strong intention that we set, and set the intention for the rest of the session today. And today is going to be amazing. It's going to be so practical, so down to earth, and it's going to be so simplistic that you're going to go home saying, she's serious? Is this really so easy? But honestly, it is. We just make it way too complicated. So let's just get started. Summary of day 2. So yesterday we talked about the creative cycle and its 4 stages. So I told you that I came up with the creative cycle watching my own, like being my own science experiment, right? Just like watching me to a T. This is what happens when I start something. This is the moment that I feel the resistance. This is the moment that I come up against myself, and what happens when I react in way 1, in way 2, in way 3. How do I move forward from it, or how do I feel stuck in it, and for how long? Do I go back to not doing anything, or do I actually do my inner work and overcome the step 3 moment? So that's how I started to put those pieces together, and I really like it because it's very down to earth, and a lot of people can identify with it, because a lot of us have been there, not only for big projects or big creative endeavors, but for like the small things in life, right? Like learning to ride a bike. We were talking about that a lot yesterday. We talked about the power is in stage 3, because that's what's going to get you to the other side. And that's what stops most entrepreneurs or most people who start something new, whatever that is. We talked about the personal thermostat and how it's set by your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, and your reactions. Basically, your personality is defining your personal thermostat. And then we talked about that it is that personal thermostat that the universe is responding to, not what you think that you're thinking or what you think that you're emitting. It is actually that combination of beliefs that form your personality that the universe is responding to. We talked about your energetic signature, and we did actually a really cool exercise that I really hope that you all take habit on doing it. Once every couple months, once every quarter, whatever works for you, but just getting clear, what's my energetic signature at some point? I mean, you can do the super quick 10-second version every day, right? It's like, do I believe in my dreams right now? Yes, no. If it's a no, why not? And just pivot, and shift to something that is more clear as a signal. But if you want to do the longer exercise, you can do it every couple of months, and then you sit and think, how are you feeling, thinking, and behaving about your business, about your clients, and about yourself? Do I feel like an imposter? Am I moving in the right space? How am I feeling? Yada, yada. That's going to give you a very good snapshot, clear picture of where you are so that you know you can move on to something else. And then practicing the new rules of the game. The rules are our new beliefs that we're going to start practicing from now on, that we set on Tuesday. And yesterday, we just did the reminder that this is who you want to embody. This is who you want to be moving forward as. This is the energy that you want to be emulating. So just let me take a quick look at the chat. Rebecca, hi Rebecca, hi Tanya. All right, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna let Jackie play some music, some cool, relaxing music so that we set our intentions for the day. So you can either set an intention for today's session, or you can just tap into the intention that you had on Tuesday. Just get into that centered space in your heart and connect to yourself one more time. Thank you, Jackie. One of the things that came up when we were playing the song is that I want to share with you that this particular song is one of my favorite meditation songs. It's called Angel's Voice by Diane Arkenstone. I want to say, I'm probably not saying her last name correctly, but it is a 7-minute song, so it's super short. And I use this, so like I almost have it on repeat on my phone, because it is long enough for you to get into a pretty deep state of gratitude, and short enough that you don't feel like it's a chore, like, oh, I don't have the time to do this. So that's a song that I have it very close to me on my YouTube music, actually, because it's just like the right length. And it's not even 10 minutes. It's just like 10 minutes always feels like, oh, I don't have the time. 7 minutes is like, yeah, well, I can do that. 5 minutes would be like, oh, it's a little too short. So I think it's the perfect. Thank you, Jackie. Diane Arkenstone. Yeah. And she's beautiful. I got to know that song in one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's events. He has an extensive list of meditation music that he plays when he's guiding us through the stuff. I'm sure he doesn't call it that, but you know what I mean. And that's one of them. Like, that's actually the song. I don't know if he's still doing it because I haven't been in one of his events since before the pandemic. But the last event that I went to, this was the song that he was playing right before going deep into meditation to get heart centered. And I loved it. And after that, I just needed to find out what song it was, because I loved it so much. It just hits me really deep in my soul. But the one thing that I want to say about that is that it doesn't have to be this song, but if you can find something, like you can find a meditation song that you go, oh my God, I feel really, really, I feel it resonating in my heart. Just keep it close to you, because that's probably a song that is going to help you get into the frequency that we're going to be talking about today. So let me just get back to, oh my goodness, I can freaking talk, and that's why we never stay on time. But let me just get back to sharing, and let's just get into today. So you may remember this slide from yesterday, and it's a perfect reminder of how powerful we can be, right? Your energetic signature is who you're embodying in various aspects of your life. So yesterday we talked about that you have a different energetic signature in different areas of your life. So it might be one for your love life, for your health, for your finances, for your business, for how you treat your children, for different areas of your life. But it is your very personal energetic signature. So there's one thing that I want to mention here. Action has the potential to move you forward. And I know that I've been talking about your energetic signature paves the way for the results that you get. It's not the amount of action, but I always want to make the disclaimer here that when you feel stuck, when you feel like you don't see a way, when you feel like nothing's moving, action will get you out of there. So that's what I call messy action or imperfect action, whatever you want to call it. So action is better than no action if you're not getting traction anywhere. So ideally, lead with your energy. Clean your energetic signature. Have that energy squeaky clean, and we're going to be talking about that in the next slide. But if you're feeling stuck and nothing's happening, do something. Write that email, do that live on Facebook, send that note to the contact that you've been wanting to work with. Do something to get you unstuck, because energy moves and moves. Action moves energy. Sorry, that's one thing that I wanted to say there. So, and what we're going to be talking about next, we're going to be spending most of our time today in this slide. But after this, I'm going to give you the mother load of insight for you to move forward after the 3 days of the workshop. So the 5 key things to practice. As I said at the beginning, you're going to leave here thinking it just cannot be that simple, but it honestly is. And I'm going to say it one more time. All that you need is focus and consistency. And that's the thing. A lot of us are not able to practice those things. Just let's talk about focus for a second. Think about when you open your phone, and this happens to me all the time, and I actually have to correct myself in the way that I'm approaching my phone, because sometimes I get in a frenzy that I open my phone and I open Facebook and I scroll for a couple minutes, and then I go to Instagram in a couple minutes, and then I go to my email in a couple minutes, and then I go to WhatsApp to see if anyone's sending a message. We are losing focus, and we have such a challenging time with so many distractions around us that focus seems like an impossible commodity right now. We're not able to focus and center our attentions in one task for long enough, and that's unfortunate, but that's something that we can easily get back to it. Actually, human beings are the only ones in the world that have focus. Animals can't focus, right? But we do. We have this beautiful frontal lobe that is designed for us to think, to make decisions, to think logical thoughts, and to focus. So we can use that. Yes. Who's that, Rebecca?
I'm sorry, Isabel. Yes, Rebecca.
Let me just stop sharing so I can see your face. Ah, there you are.
I'll show you. I'm traveling, so.
Ooh, good for you.
You mentioned about Facebook and Instagram. Yep. I agree. It becomes a distraction if you're reading all those things and looking and scrolling and strolling through the things that don't make any difference toward your business. However, I do have to use the social media for my business because it's free advertising. It's a great way to advertise my business. So I do have to have it on there. So you're not saying don't, you're just saying don't get distracted by it, like what I just described, but you can still use it, right?
You can, Rebecca,
That, am I right?
you can use whatever platform you use for your business. I've used social media, mostly Facebook for my business in the past with very good results. So what I'm talking about is not using or using something, is being intentional about your focus, where you focus your energy, right? Because I might not be on Instagram, but I'm just mindlessly scrolling on Google on my computer, or you know what I mean? So it's not about where you spend your time, it's how you spend it. So if you're intentionally going to Facebook or Instagram because it's your business, and that's how you're handling your business, that's perfect. But the part in which we tend to fail a little bit is when we decide that we're just going to go there because I'm just wasting my time, and it's so habitual to open these apps that I just go there. I'm not looking for anything. I don't even know what I'm going to read. I'm just going there and scrolling. That's what I mean, you know? So I've made a huge shift in how I operate within my social media platforms. And one of the big changes that I did is that I deleted and removed myself from anything that was negative. That was my conscious decision. So my feed, both for Instagram and for Facebook, are very positive. But that doesn't mean that I want to spend all my time there anyway. You know what I mean? Because I am just kind of like going with the motions and doing something so automatically that I'm like literally wasting my time. I'm not using that time to focus. And that doesn't mean that I need to be focused 24/7 and I need to be doing something. It's just about the intention. So if it's just because I'm going to get a dopamine hit because I'm going to Facebook, is that the best use of my time? Or am I going to go to Facebook because I posted a beautiful post about my business and I want to go check reactions and comments and respond and things like that? So there's that big difference. So it's just not, excuse me, what you're using, is how intentional you're using it. Does that make sense? Perfect. I'm going to get back to sharing, and thank you so much for asking, Rebecca. There we go. So, so that's one thing. So focus is the one thing that one of the two factors that we need to actually get into these practices. And the second one is consistency. And we've talked about this in the last couple of days about making change something that is easy for us, right? And we already talked about the addictions of the body and the addictions of the mind, and that's why change might be challenging. But when we know these things, that's when we have to be, again, aware of what we're doing and how we're operating, and decide that we're going to be consistent. And consistency just means I'm going to make that same decision every single day until I see results. So if I am working on expanding my wealth consciousness, I am going to make the intentional decision every single day that today, even if I do one little thing to expand my wealth consciousness, I am going to do it. And I'm not going to stop. Because I'm here to tell you something. When people tell you that it takes 21 days to make a habit, that is pure bullshit. And I know that there are studies out there and whatever you want, but it takes way longer. In 21 days, you're just getting started to habituate something into your life, but it's going to take you longer, mostly because we lack the focus and we might fail in the consistency. And one of the examples that I always do is how long it took me to learn how to brush my teeth with the left hand. So I haven't talked about it before. I usually bring up that example, and at the end it's like, are you a dentist? Because you're talking about your teeth all the time. But it's kind of like it's a very good learning story, because a few years ago, long story short, I had a friend who was going through a very, very, very bad health patch, and she's left-handed, or she was left-handed. Unfortunately, she passed away last year, but she was left-handed. So I decided that to honor her, I was going to brush my teeth with my left, and I was going to learn to do it. And she always found it so cute and so funny, and it was just a way for us to connect. And it took me, I was very consistent in brushing my teeth with the left hand, and I would hurt my gums when I was doing it, because it's like you don't have your muscles not there. You haven't built that muscle. You have to practice, and you have to remind yourself that this is what you're doing, because the habit is what? You reach for your right hand, right? And it took me almost a year for my body to actually get used to my left hand reaching for a toothbrush and doing it. And now it's automatic. And it's pretty much the only thing I can do with my left hand because I'm a right-handed person. But it just takes that consistency. So you see that most people that have achieved their dreams or their desires, they made the point to be consistent in how they're carrying their energy and how they're embodying it, whether they're doing it consciously or not. But there's that consistency in embodying something different. So let's just get started with the 5 things to practice, because I tend to talk so much. So your energetic signature, we spent the whole hour and 20 minutes yesterday talking about it, right? So it is, who are you embodying? And there's a couple of factors in here. So first, who do you want to be? And that's for you to decide, because you have the power to shift into your ideal version at any point in time. You are free to decide who you want to become. So in this case, it could be the successful entrepreneur, the wealthy person, the amazing coach, the amazing yoga teacher, whatever that is, right? That is up to you to figure out who you want to be. We've grown up with so much conditioning that we think that things have to be hard or challenging, but in reality, it just takes that decision to make that shift into that person that we want to be. And what do you desire, right? So do you want to go to New York? As day one, we were talking about how to get to New York. So you have to know where you're going. You have to know what it is that you desire. And I really want to make a point here to say, be very honest with your desires, because a lot of us tend to think that we want something, but sometimes that desire is somebody else's, right? So we say, like, going back to Rebecca and the example of social media, I've talked to so many coaches and they tell you, you have to have a presence on social media to make a successful business, and you have to do this and you have to do that. And yeah, there's definitely some strategy that is going to work more than others, but you do you. So what do you desire? Do you want to be on social media? Do you want to explore a different platform? Do you want to open like an actual physical space to host your business? You can build it your way, but you have to first get clear on what you desire. What are you moving towards? Who is that person that you are embodying? And the fuel that is going to pull it all together is, why do you want it? So why do you want it? You want to get really, really clear and what is the reason behind wanting what you want. And I'll tell you why. Usually when you get into deeper levels of why you want something and deeper levels of why you want something, you're going to get to a point that your soul cannot deny that this is something that you're craving to fulfill, that there's something that is calling you, and this is something usually bigger than you imagine. So this could be in the way of, you want to leave a legacy for your kids. You want to make sure that your parents are taken care of. That's a big one for me. So I have no kids, but my parents still live in Colombia, and I just want to make sure they're both in there. My mom's 78, my dad's turning 80 this year, and I just want to make sure that they have everything they not only need but want. And I want to make sure that their last years on this planet are worry-free, carefree, happy, that they can travel, that they can enjoy life the way that they haven't been able to in the past, because I've been telling you guys, they work like crazy. So your why is that thing that when you feel a down moment, when you hit step 3, you remind yourself, why am I doing this? Why do I want what I want? Oh yeah, my kids, my family, my parents, the world, the planet, my country, whatever that is. We all have different motivations, and there's nothing that is right or wrong. You desire something because you desire something. You don't need to explain it to anyone, but that's really going to move the needle in how you start embodying that person that you want to be. So, in other words, step 1, or it's not a step type thing, it's just practices. So the practice number 1 is get clear on what it is that you want. So who do you want to be? What do you desire and why? So get clear about that energetic signature that you're going to start to embody. Let me go quickly in the chat. Okay. Got it. Myla, you're so cute. Mental hygiene. I love this one, and this is one of my favorite practices, and I'm going to tell you why. So I think everyone knows that there's a lot of studies out there that say that, you know, the way that you talk to yourself and the way that you're thinking is very important. Words have energy and all those things, right? But for me, the biggest reason why I love practicing mental hygiene is because if you think about it, most of us are talking to ourselves all day long. Whether you have someone in front of you or you're by yourself, we have that mental dialogue in our heads, right? I mean, let me know if that's not the case for you. I know a lot of people have some images, but for the most part, we're talking to ourselves. And here's the thing. So think about this. Something happens to you, or you're thinking about doing something, or you're moving through your day and you're narrating inside of your head. You're narrating what's happening. You're narrating what's going to happen next. You're narrating how you feel. You're narrating all of the things, right? So that might look like, oh, I have to write this email, but I don't like that person. They never replied to me right away. Oh my God, now it's going to be 3 days before I hear from them and I want an answer, right? Like you're narrating all these things. Someone cuts you off in traffic and it's like, oh my God, look at that asshole. Oh, God. And you're basically the narrator of your life. Is like there's a little soap opera going on inside of you, and you're immersed in these thoughts 24/7. More like 16 because you're sleeping. But that's why it's so important. It's like you are regurgitating the same dialogue every single day, right? Sometimes when you wake up in the morning, the first thing that happens is like if you had a great night's sleep, you actually wake up refreshed and re-energized. And the moment that you start thinking of what you have to do, you start to feel less and less and less ideal, right? Because you are narrating those things. So mental hygiene is so important. And this is something that's really, really, really changed my life. And I'll tell you what I do because it's super simple. So one of the first practices that I started doing when I decided that I was gonna change my mental hygiene is that in those 2 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes in the afternoon, and sometimes even more than twice a day, that I'm brushing my teeth, I am saying to myself the things that I want to embody in my life. So I'm not thinking about random shit. I'm not thinking about going to the gym. I'm not thinking about the emails that I have to write. I'm not thinking about the client appointments that I have. I am nurturing myself. And it might sound silly because it's only 2 minutes. And I know it's 2 minutes because I have an electric toothbrush. So my cycle goes for 2 minutes. So for those 2 minutes that I'm brushing my teeth in the morning and then at night, I am actually taking the time to look at myself in the mirror, stare at my eyes, and say beautiful things to me. And that could look in any way, shape, or form that works for you. For me, it just goes something like, oh my God, Isabel, you're so amazing. You're so smart. You're so confident. Look at how you're impacting the world. Look at all the beautiful things that you're doing. I love you. I love you so much. I love how you're more compassionate and loving to yourself. I love how you're more compassionate and loving to others. I love how you're growing in this life. Simple. Do it for 2 minutes, and I guarantee that you're gonna feel so much better after those 2 minutes. And I also guarantee that if you've never done this exercise before, it's gonna feel very awkward at the beginning, and you're probably gonna hate me because it just feels we're not used to being nurturing to ourselves. We're not used to reparenting ourselves. We're not used to hearing those things from us. We usually hear criticism, judgment. I'm such an idiot. Why does this keep happening to me? I never do anything well, blah, blah, blah. That's the narration that goes on. So when you start to change the conversation, it feels awkward. But I guarantee that if you keep the focus and consistency on it, you're going to start to feel it right here. It's like you get that nurturing feeling of someone loves me and it's me. I love myself and it just feels so good. So that's a practice that I started doing, and I've been doing it for, I can't even remember how long, but it really works for me to set up my day in the way that I want to talk to myself and the way that I want to approach myself. And then I started thinking, I want to do this more. So it progressed from, I still do the 2 minutes of brushing my teeth. That's my thing. Like I do not do it. brushing my teeth with the left hand and talking to myself beautiful things. But then I decided that I wanted to take that practice to the next level. So what I do is when I'm doing little things around the house, I do exactly the same thing. So I told you guys yesterday that I'm a vegetarian. So when I'm chopping my vegetables, when I'm chopping my fruit for dinner, snacks, whatever, I do the exact same thing. And I just start in those moments that I'm doing the thing, I start to embody, go back to step number 1. Embody that person that I want to be. I am so happy with the life that I have created. I am so proud of myself for the person that I am becoming. I love that I can do this day in and day out. I love my life. I love the impact that I'm having. Oh my goodness, when did I get so lucky and everything works out for me in so beautiful ways? Just nurturing myself in that way. So think about these. None of us had perfect parents. None of us did. Some of us have better parents than others, but no one has had perfect parents. This is your opportunity to be that parent that you didn't have. Bless all parents. I love mine. I adore them, in fact, but they weren't perfect. They did what they could with the knowledge that they had, but now we know better, right? So this is our chance. This is our opportunity to be that caretaker, to be that person that cares, to be that lover. Just say beautiful things to ourselves, and that is going to change. It's, again, micro shifts. We all can leap, but it is the micro shifts that are going to help us get through the consistency and actually in an amount of time actually witness our leaps. So let me know if that's making sense to you. Again, mental hygiene is something that is huge in my life, and I do it all the time. It's like I always joke that if someone were watching the dialogue that goes in my head, they think I'm insane, because it just goes like, is she on drugs? Like, what? She's talking to her like that? Nobody talks to themselves like that, but I do, and I love it. Okay, let me just check the chat quickly. Awesome, Jackie. Okay, so step number 3. This is one that snaps me out of any step 3 moment that I'm having. My basic 2 questions in any moment of turmoil, step 3, doubts, insecurities, basic 2 questions that I ask myself. The first one is, do I believe that I'm creating my reality with my thoughts? If you can write it down, do it, but you're going to get the replay tomorrow, right? Do I believe that I am creating my reality with my thoughts? So what's happening here is a couple of things. First, if you're someone who's been deep in spirituality and inner work before, you know that you are creating your reality with your thoughts. You know that for a fact. However, if you have any type of doubt on that, because I've had clients that they're like, I believe that sometimes, and sometimes I don't. That's when radical responsibility comes in. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. So radical responsibility is knowing that if I have thoughts, my thoughts are forming my behaviors. My behaviors are forming my habits, and my habits are forming my personality. Therefore, I am creating what happens to me. Because if I had a different personality, people would react differently to me. I would think different and I would act different. Notice that I'm not adding anything good, bad, judgment here. That's just is, right? If I had a different personality, my life would be different. Better or worse, I don't know, but that's a fact. So that's when you really have to put your hand on your heart and decide, I am responsible for creating this life. I am responsible for creating this life. So radical responsibility is key. Do I believe that I create my thoughts? That I create my reality with my thoughts? So for me, that answer is usually yes. If that answer for you is no, I want you to really get into radical responsibility, because when you accept that you are the creator, you actually rise above the mentality of victimhood, and you actually take charge of your life. You're not a victim. No one's mistreating you. No one's doing this to you. No one's out to get you. It is you. Once you change you, everything around you has to change. So that's the first question. Do I believe I'm creating my reality with my thoughts? Then My answer is usually yes. Most of the times is yes. So my next question is what I am thinking right now creating the reality that I want? Is what I'm thinking right now creating the reality that I want? And that, ladies and gents, is a gem for me. Because when I'm going through something, like when I'm complaining, criticizing, when I'm judging others or myself, when I'm doubting, and I get into is what I'm thinking right now really getting me to where I want? Holy shit, no. Okay, let me think something different. And sometimes it's just like, oh, okay, let me think something different, and I'm out of it. But it brings me back to that place of awareness of, oh, wait, I am actually in the behaviors of the past. I am actually in the addiction. I am actually giving in to the old programming. I'm actually practicing that shit that I've been practicing for 40 something years, 30 something years, 20 something years. Let me practice something different right now. And you snap back into it. That is very powerful. So it's not just like, oh, let me see if I believe in all this woo-woo stuff. It's just, no, let me take responsibility for the way that I'm thinking right now. Because if I have the ability to focus on a pink elephant right now, but then focus on a black elephant the next second, I have the ability to change my thoughts on command, even if they don't shift my emotions right away. But the fact that you're becoming aware of how you're thinking and making that small effort to think something different is so powerful. Because the more that you do that, we talked about this yesterday, the more that you do that, the more that gap between that thought and what comes next, whether it's the action, the reaction, the whatever it is, becomes wider. And that's where your power is. That's where your power is. When that gap is wide enough to go, oh, this is what I'm doing. Oh my goodness. Yes, let me do something different. You reclaim back your power. You're able to embody that new person that you are. Even if you're not able to embody that new version that you want to be, it's snapping you out of the old. And that's already so fucking magical. You have no idea. You're already moving forces that you can't see. But the more that you practice is the more that you're going to see the results back to you. I promise you. I know why I'm getting emotional when I talk about these. Anyway, let's move on. The next one. This is one of my favorites as well. Actually, I love all of them. They've all changed my life. So go within and live in the end. So this is something this is actually one of the mainstream knowledges that we've all heard. Let me just take a sip of water. A lot of people talk about visualizing, right? Just go and visualize your future and go and visualize yourself and go and visualize this and that. So I'll be talking a little bit more in a couple of minutes. I'm more about that in a couple of minutes. But the point of visualizing is not to visualize. The point of visualizing is not to just find a pretty image in your mind and, oh, this is what I'm creating. Look at that beautiful car that I'm manifesting or anything like that. The point of visualizing is to get your juices flowing, get your energy moving, get you back into being a child and play. The point of visualization is for you to imagine the possibilities, not because you want to manifest the thing that you're imagining, but because you want to live in that, what? Energy. You want to live in the energy of the desire because a desire feels good. A desire feels amazing. The only reason why anyone would say that a desire doesn't feel good is if they have resistance towards the desire. So usually what I do is I think about the things that I want, not because I am dead serious about manifesting that thing, but because they give me pleasure. So I go and live in the end, right? So one of the things that I love about my life is that I am able to travel several times a year. So one of the visions that I keep going back to in my mind is all of the countries that I still want to go to, or all of the places in the world that I want to explore. And that gives me such a pleasure. So it's like I'm already placing myself in that life position where I have everything that I've ever desired, but I'm not doing it because I want to manipulate life and get me there. I'm not doing it because of that. I'm doing it because it just feels so good to me to be in that state of like, oof, bliss and joy and happiness and lightness. That is just so amazing to be there. So that's why you want to do it. You want to inject as much emotion as you can in here for a couple of reasons that are escaping my mind right now because that beeping from my calendar distracted me. Reason number one, guess what? All this work is about, we've talked about it before, retraining the body to feel different, retraining the mind to feel different. So what are you doing when you're injecting so much emotion to whatever you're visualizing? The body's saying, I feel so good. The brain goes, oh, really? Let me give you more of that. So there is more good feeling chemicals that run through your body. Guess what? You start creating new addictions. So not all addictions are bad. You're getting more used to feeling great. You're feeling more used to this bliss and this joy and this ecstasy that life is. So it's like, as you're visualizing, you're improving your health as well, because there's all these amazing, beautiful, loving chemicals going through your body. So live in the end is just getting to that image that is going to bring you so much pleasure, so much fulfillment, such a sense of purpose and accomplishment. But don't do it because you're manipulating reality. Don't do it because you're set on, I need to manifest this, I need to manifest all these clients, I need to da-da-da. No, do it because it just feels so good. So speaking of clients, one of the things that I do is when I think about my clients, and we talked about this yesterday, right? It's not seeing clients as a dollar sign, money sign. It's just, how do I want to feel when I have a client in front of me? Usually my sessions with my clients, when I hang up the Zoom call, I'm like, oh my God, I want to do this forever and ever and ever. My sessions are so good. You just feel so light and blissful and energized and amazing that I want to feel more of that. So when I think about my clients or like new clients that are coming my way, that's what I think of. That's living in that end of more clients coming my way, not because I need to manipulate what I'm creating to bring more clients, but because it's so pleasurable to feel that way. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense and if you guys have any questions. I'm just going through the comments right now. Tanya says, I'm learning that I am in charge of snapping out of the bad thoughts. At first I felt crazy. Now it's normal for me. Tanya, that is amazing. That is amazing. And it's more common than you think. I mean, it's just a practice, right? It's like if you don't get on the freaking bike every day, you're not going to learn to ride a bike. You got to give it a fair chance. And it's actually not that difficult. It's just that we have those chemical reactions to our thoughts. But the more that we practice them, the more that we're going to snap out of them. Thank you, Jackie, for you want to live in the energy of the desire. Absolutely. Absolutely makes sense. I'm so glad that I signed up for this class. I'm so glad that you signed up, Tanya. I am loving these. Myla is definitely a habit. And I know Myla has gone through a process of changing her thoughts day to day as well. And she's actually very good at it. Myla, if you don't mind, and if you're going to stay until the end of the workshop, because I know this might be a crazy hour for you, if you stay until the end, there's a gift that I have for those of you that attended live the workshops. And it's one of my programs that you took, Myla. So I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm kind of putting you on the spot. Once I announce what the gift is, if you want to unmute yourself for like 30 seconds or a minute to give everyone your feedback and your opinion on that little gift, I would really appreciate it. You don't have to, please don't hate me. Just that I saw your comment right now and I thought of that. And I'm excited for that gift because I love it. Anyway, let's go back to 5. So the compound effect. You know what's not going to happen? Change is not going to happen if you're not changing every single day, right? And I'll give you my example of the toothbrushing dealio. Some days I just felt like, but I'm in a rush. I need to brush my teeth like now. I don't have time for this wobbling. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And At the beginning, I was actually finishing with the right hand because I'm like, I don't want to leave the house like that. I need to make sure that my teeth are clean. So I would finish with my right hand. And, you know, it was uncomfortable and it was awkward and it was so automatic that sometimes I'm like mid brushing. I'm like, fuck, this is my right hand. Let me switch. It's just that consistency, right? And just focus. And at some point, like Tanya was saying, it becomes more habitual. It becomes more automatic that you're reaching for the good thought rather than for the bad. And if you're reaching for the bad thought, you're going to catch yourself so much quicker. It's just so much easier, but you need that consistency. You need that nurturing. You need that compassion for yourself. It's not just like, I can't get into the positive thoughts right now. I hate myself. Why can't I do this? Blah, blah, blah. That's just not going to help. Just talking to yourself and say, girl, girl, I am so sorry that no one was there to teach you, my little girl, that there was a better way to approach life. I deeply apologize that you didn't have the authority figures and the parents to teach you that this could be different. But here I am now, taking ownership and responsibility for what happens next. We can do this. So it's just give yourself that love. Talk to yourself like you're your best friend. That is going to change your life tremendously. Does that make sense? I scrolled too fast. I wasn't going to change slides, but we changed slides already. So I love talking about Michael Phelps because he is one of the best examples of consistency, right? I don't think Michael Phelps woke up on a Thursday morning and go, I want to swim today. Yeah, kind of lazy today. I'll just swim tomorrow. I'm just going to swim next week. No, he fucking got up and did it. He went swimming, right? So yeah, you might take a day off. You might, you know, fall off the wagon a couple of times here and there. That's just called being human. But when you have the focus to say, you know what? I had such a bad fall on that bike today. I'm going to give myself one day to recover, but then I'm going to get back on the bike. And I'm just going to love that scratch that I had on my elbow or my knee from falling. But I'm not going to give up on myself because I know this works. But I know that I have to give it a chance. I know that I have to give myself a chance. So your brain is plastic. There's neuroplasticity laws to prove that you can change, that there's going to be more neural pathways created when you start thinking different. There's proof that you're going to hit more step 3s once you start changing because your brain is going to be resistant because I'm used to the other chemicals, not these new chemicals. So I want to get you back to those old chemicals. But you can change. You can change the addiction to something else. So when you work on retraining the body and the mind with focus and consistency, you will create a life by design, driven by desire. And the key word here is desire. And I'll tell you why. I'm a huge believer that if you have a desire, if you have a pure desire in your heart, life has every single resource to bring that desire to you. You cannot have a desire that is not available to you. Life wouldn't give you a desire that it wouldn't have the wherewithal to bring it to you. Your soul wouldn't plant a seed in your heart if it weren't meant to be for you. How many ways did I say that already? Like 5, 6? I'm just saying the same shit over and over and over in different ways so that you get it because it's true. Every single desire that you has, every single desire that you has the potential to be manifested. Every single desire that you have has the potential to be manifested. Every single desire. I'm going to check the chat really quickly. That's so beautiful. That's so good, says Rebecca. Jackie says, if you have a pure desire, life has every resource to bring it to you. Hell yes. So that's actually one of my greatest motivations to keep going in the path that I'm going, because it's like when I understand that with as much faith as I do, and I'm talking about me personally, I'm not talking generally. When I understand that with as much faith as I do, I have no option but to keep growing and learning and practicing all these things that I teach, because I know that all my desires are mine. I know that all my desires are mine. And I said it earlier today, one of my greatest pleasures in life is to travel. I think I was probably a travel agent in a past life, and I have a list of all the countries that I've been to. And if I look at that list of countries, I don't know if Myla or Jackie remember how many countries I have on my list, which isn't like, oh my God, crazy. But when I think it's like 25 or something like that. When I look at that list that I actually shared with Myla recently, because she started her own list as well. And I think about that girl that came here from Colombia with $400 in her pocket. I just think, oh my God, this is just insane. It's like, if I look at the life that I've created, it's just insane. And I mean, if you were to come to my life, it's not just like I'm swimming in money or anything like that, because it's not about that. It's about options. It's about choices. It's about desires. It's about pleasure, because that's what life is supposed to be about. Something that I was able to do recently is that one of my biggest, deepest desires was to sponsor someone who couldn't afford higher education well, I was open to any part of the world, but I happened to know the story about a young lady in Colombia, that she's going through nursing school, and she really wanted to take a specific course, but she couldn't afford it. So she was doing, like we all do, we're trying to get resourceful, right? So I think she was raffling off an iPad or I can't remember what it was, but she was selling tickets and she was collecting the money to get the tickets. And I just messaged her and I said, I'll give you the money. And that's something that is so priceless that old me would have never been able to do that. And old me, even if she had the money, she probably wouldn't have done it, because it's that fear of letting go of that money. But wealth opens up opportunities. Wealth opens up choices. Wealth opens up impact on others' lives, on your own life. So it's just, the ripples are immense. Wealth is not selfish. Selfish would be to not expand your wealth consciousness and deprive the world from what you can do, from what you're destined to do. So I'm so emotional today. Where's my Kleenex? Anyway, so the thing that I wanted to say to start closing it off today, I don't even know what time it is, but there's one big reason why we do all these. There's one main component, like one big umbrella item that covers all of the practices that we talked about today. And I want you to take a guess in the chat. So what I'm talking about is, what is the number one goal that we're trying to achieve by having all these practices into our life? And I don't see the chat moving. So guys, take a guess.
Repeat your question again, Isabel, please.
I say, all these practices that we're talking about today, why are we doing them? What is the main goal of changing our mental diet and having the 2 basic questions and having the consistency and having the living in the end? Okay, I see the chat moving now. Fulfillment in life, to believe that we can achieve our best self, to improve, elevation. Thank you, thank you. Joy, feeling good, growth. Anyone else? Michelle and April, welcome, welcome. I don't think I saw you at the beginning. God's word. All right. Okay, so you guys are close. And honestly, this class has definitely inspired me to move. Damn, Rebecca. Yes. Awesome. So you guys were close. And there's no right or wrong answer. I know that no one was going to get exactly what I was talking about, because it's just the one thing. It's the frequency. So let's just talk about the frequency for a minute. Actually, let me just not share, because I want to see your faces. So when you start to change your mental diet, when you start to go for different chemical concoction in your body, right? When you start to think that there's going to be something different, and you start training your body to feel different and training your mind to feel different, and you're doing all these things, the one and only thing that you're aiming for is the frequency. Leading with the energy, the open frequency, love it. Oh, yes. Oh, hey, Coach Coco, welcome back. I don't think I saw you at the beginning. So what is the frequency? So we just talked about desire, right? Life is giving you desires. You have these desires, and every single desire has the potential to be manifested. But if you think about it, I want you to think for a minute of 3 or 4 desires that you have in your life right now. They don't have to be business, right? They could be anything. For me, it's just like, how many more countries can I travel in this lifetime? How much better can I make my relationship with my husband? How is my house going to look after it's renovated? That's taking years. What, it's just how much better can I make my parents' life? How much can I teach the world about these things? What's the impact that I can have? So let's just think about your desires for a second. Whatever those are, give your kids a better life. Rebecca, help my clients publish more books, bring inspiration to the world, like all these desires, all these big desires. And just for a minute, think how you would feel if those desires were all manifested right now. Or as one of my friends says, right meow. How would you feel if your desires were manifested right meow? And your desires don't have to be about all the philanthropy things in your life. Like, it could be very, very down to earth, superficial desires. There's no right or wrong. Like, some people might view my desire to travel the world as very superficial. I find it expansive and amazing and fucking powerful.
Like Isabel, my desire, I told you before, I thrive on helping people. So it's kind of like affection. I was raised on affection. My mother was very affectionate with us. I raised my children to be very affectionate. When I met my husband, and we celebrate our meet-iversary today, is 37 years ago. But when I met him, he wasn't a very affectionate person, but he knew I had to have affection. I love holding hands. I love public display of affection. So I thrive on it. It's me. And so helping people, it feels that way, exhilarating. I mean, it's fulfilling, for lack of a better word. It's very fulfilling.
Yeah. I hear you. And I actually shared the same views on affection. I grew up in a very affectionate family, like spanking my mom's butt and hugging and kissing and all that. And that's a very good reflection in my current relationship. I said current relationship, but we've been together for like 20 years. So it's been the current relationship for 20 years. But anyway, I'm just going to read the comments, and thank you so much, Rebecca, because that's exactly what it is. And I think I was kind of glancing over the comments when you were talking. So let me just see what else is here. Proud of myself, fulfilled, joy, exhilaration, safety, love, full of purpose, having the purpose. Okay, that's exactly it. So this is all there is to it. That's all there is to it. So all of these practices that we're doing, in a nutshell, they're just distractions for the mind. We're just distracting the mind in, I'm going to go do this practice. I'm going to work on my mental hygiene. I'm going to do this. You're keeping your mind busy. But the real work is to embody the frequency. And if you think about it, so there's one very specific reason why I didn't ask you to think about your one desire. I asked you for 3 or 4 desires that you would love to have manifested in your life. Because if you think about every desire manifested separately, you're going to come up to the same frequency. You might call it different because it's a different desire. So say, for example, that I am able to travel to 6 countries per year. I am going to feel that sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. So I call it accomplishment and fulfillment. I call it pleasure, right? But then say that I am able to sign, 20 clients a month, which is, I don't even think I want 20 clients a month, but I'm able to sign clients, easily and effortlessly. Oof, that makes me feel like I'm having impact. Like there are ripples in the work that I do, and more people are improving their lives. So that might be fulfillment as well. So I call it fulfillment. And then I manifested my dream car. That just feels amazing. It just feels like I am a great manifester and things are coming into my life easier. So you can call it whatever you want, but the essence of that feeling, all the things that you guys posted in the chat, is the same. You might label it different because it's a different desire manifested. It's a different thing. It's like I'm able to take care of my parents. It just feels like compassion and love. You might label it different, but at the heart of it, they all have that same frequency. The frequency of high, pure desire is the same. And that's why we're doing all the things that we're doing, to reach that frequency. So when you feel resistance about thinking about the money that you're not bringing in your business, or that the money that you're bringing to your business that is causing resistance, think about something else to reach that frequency and leave money and business out of the equation. If you feel resistance about sponsoring a student in Colombia because that's a huge desire and you don't have the money, think about something else. Think about the amazing, loving, caring, affectionate relationship that you have with your spouse and reach that frequency. You can leave out of the equation anything that is causing resistance and focus on something else and reach the frequency. All that it matters is that frequency. That is the frequency that is going to open multiple portals for everything that you want to come your way. And everything that we talked about today, the mental hygiene, the embodiment, the 2 key questions, the living in the end, the consistency and the purpose, all those things you're doing because ultimately you want to reach the frequency. So if it's easier for you to just go right in there and reach for the frequency, do it. But if you feel that you need all these tools and crutches to get there, use them. Because what's going to happen is that the mind is going to say, well, that's stupid. You don't want to do that. You're talking to yourself crazy. You're talking beautiful things to yourself when you're chopping vegetables, when you're chopping your teeth, when you're brushing your teeth. You know what I mean? Your mind is going to find so many different ways to distract you from reaching that frequency. So use the tools to get your mind entertained, occupied, busy on something else. But ultimately, it is the frequency that you want to reach for. Does that make sense? This is something that has so deeply, profoundly opened up my eyes to a whole different power that I have. Because then what I do is I walk every day. And during my walks, all I do is, what can I think of right now to reach the frequency? And it's different things. Sometimes it's thinking about, I have a big trip coming up in September where I'm going to see my parents after I haven't seen my parents since January 2020. And it's just exhilaration. It's just joy. It's just, oh my God, I'm going to hug them. And I'm going to be able to provide a, dreamy trip for them. Oh, frequency reached. What are the things that I'm going to do? How much time I'm going to spend there? And sometimes it's just like, this workshop, I look forward to this workshop so much, and seeing all your faces and seeing your excitement and seeing the ahas and the breakthroughs. It's like, that is my frequency right there, without caring of the how of the outcome. Are people going to join the Master Heart? I don't know, but that's irrelevant because I can reach the frequency at any point. Do I need the clients to be happy? No, I just need to imagine the feeling that I have when I'm talking with my clients. And as I reach the frequency, everything has more access to me. Because remember, we're not creating anything. We're not even attracting anything. We're just opening up that portal so that things can have access to us. That's all there is. You're not creating, you're not manipulating, you're not even attracting. I use the word attracting a lot. Everyone uses it because it's easier to explain what you're trying to say. But you're not even attracting it. You're just opening up so that things can actually come to you, so that you can see them. You know, it's building that faith that you have the power to change how you feel, regardless of the outcome, so that things can come to you. Let me take a quick look at the chat before I share again.
While you're looking at the chat, I'm going to cry because I get it. I get it. I thought I had it, but now I have it. I get it. Oh my God. That's so amazing.
I'm so glad, Rebecca. I'm glad that this is resonating. It is life-changing. And you know what? The thing is that in a week from now, a few days from now, you might get back to your comfortable old self. So that's why consistency in reaching that frequency is so important. And that's why day 1 or day 2, I can remember I said, sometimes I stop myself during the day and ask, do I believe in my dreams? No. Okay, what work do I have to do to reach that frequency? You know what I mean? It's just reframing it, recentering. April, you said kind of. I'm not sure if there's anything that you want clarification on. Where are you, April? Why don't I see you? Oh, there you are, April. So let me know if you want to unmute yourself, if you have any questions, or if there's anything that I can offer clarification on. How do I know what exactly, April? How do I know about my desires, or how do I know that they're, if you can be a little bit more specific, I'll be super happy to help you out. When you're on the frequency, okay, because the frequency is basically, so if I'm going to explain the frequency with words, it's going to be the high, the elevated emotions that bring you. So if I'm only using words, I'm going to say the frequency is joy, bliss, happiness, ecstasy, right? So when you're on that high, you know that's the frequency, like there's no question, right? So think about a huge, passionate is another one. That's a great one. And I actually love that one because for a long time in my life, I felt passionless. I felt like nothing would bring me joy. I felt like I had no purpose. I felt like this life was meaningless. I felt that it was just like a waste of time. So I decided that I wanted to be more passionate in my life. And I actually, thank you, Tanya, for bringing this up, because this is an amazing exercise, an amazing example for April, actually, because I didn't know what being passionate felt like. So I kept thinking, how can I become more passionate when I don't even know what being passionate feels like? So I started kind of like doing the reverse engineering of my own self to say, what things do I enjoy in my life? And I started thinking about those things and kind of like deciphering what passion felt like. So for me, it's like this purpose of service, right? Making that impact on people. Traveling is a big one for me. Having an amazing relationship with my husband has always been a huge desire of me. That doesn't mean that I haven't achieved it. That means that our relationship can always keep getting better. So I started to tap into like the things that I like, and then I started to tap into what makes me feel better, and then I started to tap into what can I create, how can I create more of this feeling, until I started to feel, okay, this is what passion feels like. And this wasn't a day thing. It was months and months and months before I actually reached this point. And it was the same, a little easier with fulfillment, because when I decided to start to feel that my life was fulfilled, I had already gone through the exercise of passion probably 2 years prior. So I already knew what I had to do. So it's like, I want to feel that my life is fulfilled, that that my life has meaning, that I'm helping others. And to reach that feeling, I don't even have to do anything, because a lot of people think that, well, I have to do something. I have to start a business. I have to do da, 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 da. You just have to have the feeling. And once you have the feeling, the opportunities to actually have more of the feeling are going to come to you. So it just feels like you're doing something, but you're not. You're just feeling your way into it. And then the opportunities to get more of that feeling will come to you. Oh, Tanya, don't tell me you're a travel agent. That's dangerous. I'll be calling you all the time because I love it. Overjoyed, understand now. April, great. Amazing. I'm a travel agent and I love helping others get in the travel industry to improve their families. Like, woohoo, I'll be your biggest client because I love travel. I'm going to Colombia in September. That's where I'm going. That's my home country. So we're just going to, I'm not going to my hometown. I'm going to a different area in the country and I'm meeting my parents there. April, you are very welcome. And please don't be shy to ask more questions if you need clarification or something else. But let me just get back to my screen. I think we only have one slide left. Yeah, so this is pretty much all I had for you guys today. And I honestly wanted to close with this with a bang because realizing that it is that frequency that I have to reach for, that's all I need to do, simplified so much. However, our brains are fucked up. And I wanted to get all this intro from day 1 and day 2 and now day 3 to bring you into this journey for you to understand why your body feels a certain way, why your mind thinks a certain way, what's the chemistry behind it, what are the reasons that are driving the behavior that we have to bring you to this place of the frequency. But that's all there is to it. But because your mind, I was going to say your minds are fucked up, but it's just everybody's. Because our minds are so set in their ways, that's why I love accountability. And that's why I wanted to bring up the Master Heart again to you. Because whether you decide to work with me or not, is your decision. And one of the things that I want to say is that, and I mentioned it yesterday as well, you don't need a coach. Nobody needs a coach. You desire a coach. There is a completely different energy between the two. If you're hiring a coach because you feel that there's something to fix, there's something wrong with you, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, you're hiring a coach for the wrong reasons. You hire a coach because you feel a resonance with this person. You hire a coach because you feel that they hear you, they see you, they understand you. You hire a coach because you know that they've walked the path and they can help you walk the path as well. You hire a coach because there's this deep resonance that you know that you want to hire them. And that's the main reason why I'm not a salesy person, because I'm not here to convince anybody that I am your coach. I am here to bring something valuable to your life and then let you decide if this is the thing for you. So one of the reasons why I am where I am now is because I am very mind-oriented, even though I'm very creative in my right brain as well. But I always kept hearing in my spiritual journey that the how is not the how is not your domain. The how is the domain of the universe. You don't need to know how. You don't need to know how. But I kept thinking, well, I want to know how. I want to know how. What do I do? What am I supposed to do? I am a human doing. I need to know what to do. So I started to dig more. And that's when I became my own science experiment. And I started to become, to have my own conclusions about how I operate behind the scenes. Like I am this individual here, but what's going on in the back? I wanted to unravel all that and simplify it and help my clients that way. So this is my how. This is nothing more to it. This is it. But what we do in the Master Heart is we practice, we talk about the things that we're going through, we share about the step 3 moments that we're having. We actually build a very strong community and bond so that we can grow together, because you're going to be pulled back into the old, I guarantee. Not because I don't think you're capable, but because you're human, and because that happens to all of us. You get pulled into the old programming. You get pulled into narrating the story that you're seeing in front of you rather than the story that you want to see. You get pulled into feeling a different way. You get pulled into all of this past programming, and it's going to happen. So when you have someone that can see those blind spots, not because I'm a genius, not because I'm brilliant, but I am, but not because of those things, but because I've been there. And because I can see it from a different perspective, because when you're so immersed in it, you cannot see in front of you. But I can. And I've been here, and I've been there, and I've helped a lot of my clients be their own mentors and coaches, because my goal is that eventually you say, I've outgrown you. I'm doing it on my own, and goodbye. I don't want any codependency. I want people who are here for radical responsibility and take the path because they feel the desire to take that path. So I already told you all about the Master Heart yesterday. Jackie, if you haven't done it, which you're always ahead of me, if you can post the calendar link in the chat, and you also got the calendar link this morning or this afternoon in the reminder email. I announced yesterday that the three first people who book a call with me to find out about more the Master Heart are going to get a complimentary mentorship call with me as well. And it's going to be amazing because we're going to be talking one-on-one and sharing all the things and talking about all the things. So I am really looking forward to getting to know more of you at a personal level. I really hope that you take the time to speak with me because it's going to be amazing, and I would love to get to know you better. And my calendar it's actually a little booked up right now because I have a lot of client commitments, but you always find a spot. And if you can't find a spot that works for you, email me and I can open up some more spots for you. So that's all for today, guys. I'm super excited about that. Group programs are life-changing. As much as I like to do one-on-one work with my clients, group programs are the bomb. And the last thing that I want to close out with is the gift that I've been talking about for you guys. So I'm going to stop sharing in a minute, but I really want you, let me just stop sharing right now. I really want you to be grateful for giving yourself this time for these 3 days. I know how challenging it might be to take the time, and you all are troopers for being here for 3 days. If you look at the numbers, we started with over 40 people and now we're 20 people. I understand that all of us are busy and have things to do, but just look at the consistency, right? And that's how a lot of people show up in their lives. And I'm not singling anyone out. That's not my intent. I've done it many times that I start something and I don't finish it. But I want to give my precious gift to you as a thank you for showing up for yourself, for giving this time for yourself, and for dedicating this time to your own growth and to your personal development. So it is my channeled energetic alignment money course that I'm gifting to all of you. So it is a course that is valued at $997, and I'm giving it to you for free. And it's a course that it was channeled and divine inspiration when I got it. I got this download, this intuitive feeling to write a course on money. I wanted to write a course that was very, very specifically laid out for anyone who wants to do this work and getting started into creating their own rules and coming up against themselves and growing. So I designed this course as an email course. So when you register, and it's completely free, you only have to enter your information. So what's going to happen is that as soon as you register, you're going to get a welcome email, and the following day you start to get the daily lessons, and it's 10 daily lessons that that you're going to take, and I absolutely love that course. I actually take that course on my own every once in a while, just a reminder for me of like how I want to rewrite my rules and how I want to keep moving forward. So Myla, I don't know, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I don't know if you want to unmute yourself and like in 30 seconds, 1 minute, tell everyone your experience with the course. I mean, it's free, so why not take it, right? So Myla, if you're still there, I see your picture, but I don't know if you're still on the call or paying attention. So let me know if you want to unmute yourself for a second and tell us your experience with it.
My experience with this course?
No, not yours. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
My experience was amazing. I loved it. It gave me, talk about energetic signature. This really ups my frequency on that. I kind of liken it to when my grandchildren, I tell them we're gonna go swimming, then we're gonna go skating, and then we're gonna do this, and they're like, the happy hums and they're bouncing around and they're like, yes, that's the
That's the frequency right
I'm
there.
on now.
Exactly. That's what it is. Thank you so much for saying
thank
that,
you.
Rebecca.
Thank you, Isabel.
And Myla, I see that you're unmuted, so let me know if you want to share.
Yes, thanks for letting me share this. So this is definitely such a gift for you guys. It's such a treat. It's really, really, really good. So I did it. It's 10 days. So Anish has helped me so much. One of the things that it helped me with is just and one of the days, I can't remember what day, it's like you will write down all your beliefs that you have about money. And then there was like a ton of them that are really obvious, but then because I dig really deep and I just found so many that they were so sneaky that I didn't know I had. And I was just so amazed to uncover this because it really helped me to kind of like change my mindset about money. And my life hasn't changed a lot, but I know my mindset about money has changed. I had such a lack mentality, about money. I think that lots of people do. And, even the times when I had lots of money and then I could travel to anywhere I wanted, I still had that lack mentality because it's not about the money. It's about your mind. It's just so crazy. It's so, so crazy. And I was like, oh my God, I had this the whole time. And it was so obvious, but I didn't realize I had that mindset until I really focus on them. I was like, really, let's just uncover them, and I really like stare them in the eyes, kind of thing. Yeah. And now I'm very conscious about when I spend money, and I like how I react, and just trying to not contract, and then know if I had lack thought, I just got no, and I just relax and have to pause because it's not natural to me. It's like it's something that I have to work on, and I've been working on, and I've noticed that I change a lot. Like I just have as many coffee as I want, and it might not seems like a lot, but to me, like, oh, it's a coffee. I know it's just a coffee, but I used to contract every time. I know it's just a takeaway meal. I know it's just a simple thing, but it's just the mindset. And it's not about this. It's just about anything. It might be a coffee, might be like, it might be a meal, might be a piece of clothes, anything, or it's a trip. It's always the same contraction. So, and I really aware of this, and I just changed in that. Recently, I think last week, I went to an Airbnb, and I just book it on the day, like just before midnight for the day for the following day. And that was such a big thing for me. And I didn't book a cheap one, and I booked one that I liked. And it was just like this beautiful
I saw those
house.
They were amazing.
There was this beautiful house from the 1800s. And I just remembered, I thought about you, Isa, because I thought, how do I want to feel? What do I want to see is that this abundance, I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of this. I'm going to go, I'm going to enjoy it. And it was such a beautiful place. It was such a beautiful place. And just had the most amazing, day. I just went on my own as well. And it was because of this course. So I just really work on relaxing about money. It's just like relax. Don't think about you don't have enough, because I do have enough, but it's just the mentality that I don't have enough. And this Airbnb, it was expensive. I mean, if for my default self, it is expensive, but I thought, no, but I can't afford it. This is the thing, I can't afford it. But my default mind is like, oh no, I can't. I'm going to go for the cheaper option. And it's with everything. I just realized that I always had the not as good version of anything. And it's just crazy to me. It's like, oh my God, doing all my life, even if I had money. I was like, well, if I go and buy a top, I just go, oh, well, I like this one. But this one, I like it as well, a little bit less. And it's a bit cheaper, so I'll buy that one. even when I have the money, it's just crazy to me. It's like, oh my God, why do I do this?
We
Why do I do
self-sabotage in that way, yes.
Why do I do this? And I'm really aware of that. And so now if I like something, it's like, okay, I can afford this. I just buy it. Stop the lack mentality. And it's huge. It's huge for me, seriously.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes. So guys, this course, if you do it, if you follow through, it just will really, really help you. Seriously. It will help you.
Thank you so much, Myla. I really appreciate you, and I love having you in my life. And thank you for showing up today. I love it. I love seeing you. You know that.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I just really appreciate you. I really do.
So guys,
thank you.
Both links are in the chat. There's the link to my calendar that you should have gotten in your email as well. And if you scroll up a little bit, the link for the money course is in there as well. The money course has no cost at all. You can just, the only thing that you have to do is enter your email address, because that's how the course is delivered to your email every single day. It doesn't expire, Paola. It doesn't expire. I'm going to keep it open for a while. I might decide to take it off at some point, but that will be for future different reasons. Right now, it's going to stay open. So take advantage of it right now. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Jackie, because she is just amazing, and she just lets me do my thing. I don't have to worry about any of the things in the back, behind the scenes and stuff like that. She's amazing with the music. If anyone is needing a marketing person, Jackie is your girl. Love you, Jackie. Thank you so much. And guys, I love you all. And I hope that this is not the end of our relationship. I hope to see you all soon. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And thank you again for being a part of my dream. Bye-bye.